116 Hotline. It's Sadie
and Sutana, and welcome back to 116 Hotline.
Hey.
If this is your first time here, hello. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. 116 Hotline is a podcast where we talk about anything and everything because it's ours. And welcome to not only our safe space, but your safe space.
As always. So, what you been up to?
Yo.
It's actually, I feel like I've actually have not seen you.
We haven't seen each other in like
almost a couple weeks.
Almost like 3 weeks.
Right?
Yeah.
No, when's the last time I saw you?
I don't know.
Did we go to the movies? No,
we didn't. No, I saw you for something. Because we're talking about Devil's Wears Prada.
Because I came by, I stopped by after I left Brian's. I stopped by just to drop the book off for you, and we were chit-chatting.
That's what it was.
But that was like 2 weeks ago? Or
that was like
a week ago.
But
then like
about a week ago.
But,
anyways, keep going.
Anyway, sorry. Okay, real quickly, just because, it's been a while, how about a mental health check real quickly right before we dive right into it?
Oh my God, totally.
Totes.
Do you want to go first?
Fine.
Okay. Yeah, go first.
Okay, so from a scale of 1 to 10, I would say... I'm a 5. I'm gonna be honest. Yikes. I like in the moment right now, I'm gonna say I'm a 5-ish.
Last time you said you were like a 9.
No, I think the high was like an 8. I'm not saying 9, girl.
I think you said you were a 9.
Really?
9
2
or 8.
episodes ago. Which was probably a month ago. About a month ago.
Is it probably because you're end of school and trying to get everything
it's
done?
A lot. Trying to get everything, trying to get everything caught up and everything. And then just personal life in general too, stuff like that. So I'm just kind of it's beating me down a little bit. And then not just that, but then these past few days, because my brother, he's out of country right now in Japan, right? So my parents are which is nice because I get the house to myself, and then my parents are they work overnights, right? So I feel like these past few days I've been coming home and it's been so dead quiet, and then I fall asleep because that's what I freaking do after work, and I'm exhausted, and I'll fall asleep and I wake up and it's dead silence in the house. I'm this is kind of depressing, bro, because it's I'm not used to that. I'm so used to always noise or conversations going on. So I'm wait, I was why do I feel so alone? It was crazy. But then and then yesterday, it didn't help. Like you said, the weather was all cold and gloomy in May.
That was horrible.
In mid-May, it's crazy.
I swear to God, I was so depressed. Early May. That's why I made fun, because I'm I cannot. I need to do something.
Perfect weather for it. So I was just oh, this is kind of depressing. I feel it was depression without me knowing that maybe I was feeling depressed. I don't know, for for a little bit.
It's probably the weather too, honestly.
Yeah. So just stuff like that. But I mean, and I can confidently say that obviously it's going to go up because I'm looking forward to all the stuff that we've been talking about that's coming up in the summer. Yes. So I'm so excited for all that.
It's going to be so much fun.
Oh, girl, we needed it. We need it.
We need it ASAP, Rocky. Yeah.
So what about you?
I'm probably a good 6, 7,
freaking gross.
Not feeling super good, but then I'm not feeling super bad. I'm just chilling.
Content.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of 6, 7, so gross. So yesterday we did a paper because it was Cinco de Mayo, right? Mm-hmm. So we did a paper over where it says the numbers are in Spanish. Mm-hmm. Tell me why my little boys were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 is sis, and 7 is siete. So they go, siete. And I was stop. I was go sit down. It was so funny, but I was okay. I mean, making the connections.
Connect over culture. I love that.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's sis and siete.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sí, sis and siete.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And then
sis siete.
So gross and funny. But yeah.
Okay. Creative.
Okay. So.
But yeah, not good, not bad. I mean, I'm just kind of vibing.
Going with the flow.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
But honestly, I would say majority of it is because, you see how clear my face is right now?
Yes.
Bro, I don't know what happened.
Oh. Are you off your cycle?
Yeah.
Didn't you mention that whenever you're about to hormones too? For reals? Mm-hmm. Was it kind of flaring up a little bit?
Yeah, it was flaring up bad.
Did it hurt?
It was sore.
Or was it more
It was dry.
You could just feel it to the face, to the touch.
Yeah, but I'm feeling a lot better
it does
now.
look really good right now. It really
Right?
does.
Nothing
looks
on
clear, and it looks like it's not as red. Have you been putting anything on it? No?
Same old thing.
For real?
Yes, I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on, sister.
Well, it'll come and go, but I mean, you just gotta keep going through it.
Gotta find my own way.
Aren't you gonna start the thinking again? The other medication that you used to use?
I'm supposed to see the doctor at the end of this month, so we'll see.
There you go.
We'll see how I feel when I get there.
Okay. Yeah. You know, and this is the reality of life.
Yeah.
Especially as an adult, you know, like
Life
you're gonna
is
go
a
through
roller
things.
coaster, right? You go through some good shit, you go through some bad shit.
You're going up and down and up.
Oh,
Because imagine if it was just a straight ride. How boring would that be, right? I'm trying to justify our scores right now. Okay, so with that being said, you know, quick little mental health check. Don't forget to do a mental health check, even if it's for your own self and within yourself. Like, you know, just reflect back a little bit, checking with yourself if you don't really feel comfortable asking anybody else, or if you don't have anybody else to talk about, or like
you could totally even journal it. I do that sometimes.
Yes.
Where I'm like, how, like even on a good day today, you know, like go outside on your little grass, get out your little journal, like. How am I feeling today?
Today I felt so.
Yeah.
Just to let it out, right?
You know, yeah. Somehow. You need to let it out, whether it be verbally,
physically, working it out, going taking a walk.
Oh my God.
You gotta do what you gotta do to release and just
release
let it go.
That energy. When you hold so much tension in your physical self,
you're annoyed,
or even like tension in your mental. I'm serious.
Mind.
You literally start to like self-destruct.
Oh, 100%.
What's it called? Self-destruction.
Self-destruct.
Literally.
Yeah.
If you're not letting go of that energy. So let it out.
Let it out some way, somehow.
Breathe in, breathe out. Let it out.
Because like, I mean, you can let it out within yourself, but like, it's like if you're just verbally within yourself, it's still in your head. So like I said, I feel like even if you're writing it out, it's out there, right? But then like you said, like, I don't know.
Like sometimes when I talk to myself in the car and I'm like, you gotta calm down, girl. I'm like, you literally
I talk to myself
crazy.
all the time in the car. And not just that, but then like I feel like the best form for me personally is like letting it out to a person. So that's why whenever like I'm like, okay, just gotta tell Satana about this. Like even if it's just something stupid on my mind or something that happened at work, I'll be like, okay, I need to tell you about this. You know, and then like I let it out and then boom, I feel so much better. It's not on my mind as much anymore after you've let it out. Like it's so true. It's crazy how it works.
I'm sorry, but you know, I just thought of we should get shirts for Florida where like we pick out each other's shirts and go do like the unhinged stupid shit. Yeah,
we need to do that.
My
I'll put that on the
ADHD,
list.
my ADHD brain. Okay,
I need to put that on the list.
I'm done going off track.
I love it. Anyway, that was great.
Yeah. So, are we gonna talk about this?
Yeah. So we are actually here today. Our episode. Well, part of our episode. We're going to talk about this book.
It's called His Mask, My Mirror, Breaking the Chains of a Trauma Bond by Diane Wilkie.
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 W-I-L-K.
Here it is.
Here she is.
Is it for sale right now?
I think it is already on sale. Yeah. My friend Stephanie. So it's actually my friend Stephanie McLean. Hey girl. Hey. She, suggested this book for Satana and I to just kind of like, give it a read and see what we think about it. To do a little book review, book club about it. So, she gave gave these two to us from the author herself. She is a local author here. So, from Tulsa. And like again, we'll show like a close-up picture of her and whatnot. This book is available, she said, on TikTok Shop and Instagram.
Ooh.
I believe. So she's trying to get herself out there and whatnot. And
if it's on Instagram, we can also link it to where people can buy it.
That's we can
Instagram
link it.
Post.
I'll have to go find her.
So we'll do like let's do like a little screenshot. Okay, and then we can attach it to the Instagram post.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is pretty cool because a couple episodes ago, Satana and I were talking about we were wanting to potentially do the book club with the story of the memoir.
The memoir, yeah.
Of
I have it in my cart.
Lee, something.
The girl from the TED Talk.
Yeah, the girl from the TED Talk that we were talking about, which that's still on our to-do list. So we eventually get there. But then, in the meantime, we got this. So we were like, hanging out with this. And taking a read. And this could be like a little preview of what a book talk would be like, because we've never done this before.
No. And I really like it because it will encourage me to read too, honestly.
Absolutely. This is like, just from straight off the bat, we've read up to chapter like 2, 3.
Sadie probably read up to 3. I only read up to
3.
2.
And that was our goal, to kind of like read a couple chapters at a time.
Yeah,
come back and talk about it and whatnot. And essentially it is a book about trauma and what is it, like abusive relationships.
And I feel like also self-awareness. So it kind of like
a lot of it
ties into what our podcast is about.
That's what I was telling Stephanie.
It's like we always talk about we're not professionals as well. As
Did you
Diane,
see that?
Yeah,
you peeped that? Yeah.
As Diane stated too.
And I
in
love
the
that.
book, it's like we're not professionals as well, but sharing our stories. And I think that's something similar.
Oh,
within just reading the first few chapters is that, sharing her own personal journey is similar to our podcast.
Literally.
Because although we're not professionals, we know that it can possibly, hopefully, help someone somewhere out there that's experiencing something similar or has gone through something like we have. So
no, that's I literally thought of that. There's a part in the beginning where she mentioned that, disclaimer, I am not a licensed therapist. I am not a licensed psychologist or anything. These are just my personal thoughts and my personal experiences. And I'm like, oh gosh, we literally say that on the podcast all the time.
Yes.
Like we can only share our experiences and whatnot. I love how you put the phone in there so you can is that your note taking part thing?
Yeah, I marked the pages.
Yeah. I started last week, and then I stopped halfway, but I literally did like highlights and notes on here. I wanted to show you the part. I put a little note here, highlight part.
Oh, you did.
I'm just gonna read this part real quickly.
Yes, go.
That's all right. It's like,
okay, yeah.
I had a burp real quick. What you experienced was never about your worth or your ability to be loved. It was about the patterns your heart and body learned long before you ever chose this relationship. And then I put on the notes to the side note, immediate thought, yikes. Because it's like, it's so true. Like, I mean, a lot of the things that she said on here, real quick too, also ADHD, sorry, but the font, I feel like it's a super easy read.
Yes.
It's pretty quick.
I like that. My eyes don't get strained.
In my eyes, yeah, because it's not super tiny.
And I like how there's space.
I do too.
Yes.
I feel like this is something I would read like online, like or something like that, where it's
like a super, Kindle or something.
Yeah. So
I feel like it is easy to read, and it doesn't make me want to just rush through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where you can actually see the word.
Yes. Yeah. And so it's an easy read. It's not super straining, and there's like, I don't remember how many chapters there are. Maybe 18, 19 chapters, but then it's like the chapters are fairly short. Yeah. They're like 4 pages maybe. So yeah, it's like, what do you think so far?
I
with what you read,
I like it. So here, I want to read one part that I really like. The first part that I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a part in chapter 1 where she says, as adults we find, and okay, I was thinking about this in terms of not only relationships, like romantic relationships, but also like friendships, family. etc.
Yep.
Anyways, this part like really spoke to me. Okay, she said, as adults, we may find ourselves loving harder than we should, forgiving too quickly, and excusing behavior that hurts, holding on longer than is kind to us. We may silence our intuition, shrink ourselves to keep the peace, and hope that potential will someday become reality. Not because we are weak, but because we learned early how to tolerate discomfort and call it love. Ooh, I felt that because I was like, it reminded me of, me and all my trauma I've been through. It reminded me of that because I was like,
I thought about you
not only like, I don't know, just learning from an early age, like what is love and what is the definition of love. And then also as an adult, right? Like how she said in the beginning, in the introduction, it's like when you're a child and you learn these things as an adult, it just becomes second nature and you look for it.
It's natural. Yeah, exactly. Because it's like embedded in your like nervous system.
Like when you think of love, you think of a specific thing. You're probably thinking back to the first signs of love you learned when you were a kid.
Yes.
And then you look for that. And it's like, that doesn't mean it's okay though.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I think like our journey into being an adult, like trying to unlearn those things, it's difficult because you it's like, how do you unlearn things that you learned from an early age? And that was like your podium up there of like, that is the model. And now that you're an adult, you're like, wait, actually that's not even right.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that's not even close to what that should look like, like bare minimum. Yeah. So anyways, that part, that was like the first part that I was like, damn.
Like,
I was okay. So at first I thought it was like all about romantic relationships, but the more I read into it, I was like, oh, okay, that can apply to anything.
And that's what Stephanie had mentioned to me too, that it's like, not just on like a romantic relationship, but it can be like friendships and even like family members and whatnot. And I'm like, so as I read up to chapter 3, I was like, oh yeah, a lot of it, I keep thinking about, you know, even friendships and like family relationships too. So I was like, yeah, it can really apply to any relationships, you know, like that you've experienced and that, or that you've had. The nervous system thing, like that you said, you know, like if that's what you grew up seeing and, you know, experiencing, then when your body is just like you said, tuned to that growing up, and you look for that, until later you're like, wait,
it's comfort.
It is comfort.
And then someone, like, unless you see it from like an outside perspective or someone questions it, then you're like, wait,
like,
okay,
really?
that got me thinking. You're like, wait,
you might be right.
Yeah, like, is that actually what it's supposed to be or no?
And it's crazy because then I can really relate it a lot to, like, you know, my past relationship, or like people like I know, like for example Val, you know, and I thought about like her a lot too. It's like, man, like, you know, and there's some parts in here she mentioned that, you know, you keep staying because you, like, again, you're wired to that, where you're like, okay, you're feeding off of that. You're like, okay, it's gonna get better, and it's like a high,
holding on to it,
like
holding on to the hope that something might happen.
It's gonna change. You're in love with the potential. You know, like you keep.
It's like the game of like the chasing.
Yes, girl.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yes.
There's another part in here that I highlighted. Is in chapter 2. It says, you're not just attached to the person, you're attached to the version of yourself that seems to exist around them. That version is often what you fight for later, even more than the relationship itself. And I was like, oof, yep. And it's crazy because a lot of these things that I read, I'm like, a lot of these things I thought about myself before, when like as an adult now, like years later after, like, you know, my kind of crazy like past relationship, where I'm like, I thought about these things before, I just didn't know how to put into words.
I wanted to read this one part right here.
Okay.
Because I thought this part was interesting. How she said this. Is it chapter 2?
Okay.
She said, not all harm comes wrapped in cruelty. Some of the most confusing wounds are caused by someone who was kind, attentive, generous, and supportive until they weren't. There are people with narcissistic traits who rage and intimidate, and there are others who smile, soothe, and shape the story quietly. Ooh. I was like, that's so true, because it's almost like the people where they're, what did they say? Keep your enemy, your friends close, but your enemies closer. That's what it reminds me of. And I think as an adult, I don't know if you felt this too, but as an adult, like getting older, that's something I've had to deal with, is like learning how just because people act like they love you or act like they're your friend doesn't necessarily mean that they actually like you.
Like their approach seems like, oh, super harmless and all that.
Yes. It's like the people who are the most like that almost are always the ones who, you know, are the total opposite.
I feel like you've experienced quite a few of those,
and girl. I'm like, okay, well,
you gotta really like,
you have to have your
guards up,
protect your energy, protect yourself. And I think that's something that as an adult, it's really hard to try to decipher that, right?
Yes.
Because you're almost in a stage of, I want to make more friends, and I want to
put yourself
open my eyes and, you know, broaden my friendships and things like that. But it's like, how are you supposed to do that when there's people who don't have those genuine
good intentions,
and they're just like, actually, I'm just a quiet hater. You know what I mean?
That is kind of the scary part, where you don't know because you really don't know. So you're like, how much do I let this person in, you know, before like they sabotage me? Because that's
self-sabotage, right? Because I think to a certain extent you can blame other people.
Well, yes.
Accountability.
I can't find where I didn't highlight it, but then she mentioned somewhere in chapter 2 or 3 about awareness, like because you mentioned she mentioned something about it's the first step to self-awareness. Whenever you are recognizing that something is off or something like that, or you're recognizing that this is like why am I what is the word? Why am I craving this? That's the first step into self-awareness. I'm like, wow. Because she also mentions a lot in there about, you know, reflecting back on your own. Later on, you are realizing that, and that's like the beginning of the healing part.
Yes.
And I'm like, shoot.
And I really like that at the end she always puts the affirmations.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I was like, wait, that's actually really do. Yes,
literally, because I noticed that too. I was like, okay, affirmations, and then the second chapter is like every single chapter.
The next chapter,
I think I even highlighted a few of the affirmations because like, ooh, I need to start saying these to myself.
And if you have, I'll say these looking for that. And if you haven't, try to do affirmations for yourself. I know it sounds
We talked
really,
about this
really
before.
silly. Yes, we have talked about it before, but I
love
feel
it.
like
I know.
if you haven't done it, I literally, guys, I used to drive to work
Yeah.
and pull up on the Spotify like self affirmations and say it out loud as I'm driving to work. And I'm telling you, it makes you feel just in a better mental headspace. Even if you're having the worst shitty day, like you can always try to trick your mind because you are what you think.
Yes.
And as
Yes,
you say
yes.
it, the more you do
gotta
it, it seems silly. You start to believe the affirmations and then you just become it.
Affirmations are so very important today.
It's
like
so powerful,
like
too.
so powerful. Like you said, it is true. I remember we talked about this in an episode, and then the next day I literally tried it for work, and at first I'm like, this is a little silly, but I kept doing it. So it was to the point where one day I was like so angry at something, but I was driving home, and then I had to like say something out loud to myself, like you're good, calm down, like even that's
Yeah.
affirmation affirmation.
You're like regulating yourself. Yes.
Literally, it's self-regulation.
It's almost like the tapping because you're like, okay, like calm down, like ooh, woosah,
No, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. I put a star on these two because I thought it was pretty nice. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna start saying these. I think it's on the end of chapter 2. One is, I trust that my heart will guide me to what it truly needs. And another one's, I choose to understand my past, but it does not define my future.
Girl. Heavy on that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it sounds so simple, but when you read it, and if you can instantly, like you said, like have a reaction, that means boom, that it's relatable.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
To something in your life.
And I also think too is that I really like that one. I choose to understand my past, but it does not define my future. Because I think that once people are, like I used to be a really negative, like self-destructive person. And I think once I got out of that headspace, I was able to say, okay, I was this person at one point in my life.
Yeah.
But guess what? You all have a choice to change yourself as a person. And just because you used to be someone that, whether you were angry or used to be negative and toxic, like you always have a choice to change and make yourself better. It starts with you and what you want to do. Like literally. And I think some people think that they can't change it just because they've been something a certain way. But I always say, nope, it's never too late. If you're alive, it is not too late.
Can you walk us through that? The moment that you decided that, you know what, I'm going to change for the better. Change for better.
I would say that definitely it had a lot to do with, the space I was in. So like my husband being a great pillar.
For sure.
Having boundaries.
Thank you.
Having my own personal space. And then just being like, okay, I'm no longer in a space where I feel like not safe. So it's okay to not be that person anymore. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then to realize but then also to realize and admit that, okay, I was someone like that. And maybe that's why they were saying things like that, because I was that person. But now I'm going to try really hard not to be that person and try my best to be the bigger person or see the positive in it, because I don't want to be that. If that's really what I looked like, I don't want to be like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's why people say, you're not the old Sultana. I'm like, I don't want to be. You know what I mean?
That
like,
part.
I don't want to be her because she was not who I am today, and I worked really fucking hard to get where I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you always have a choice. You always have a choice to change yourself.
That's so true.
Whether people tell you that you can or cannot, I always say you always have a choice.
And you know what? It's crazy because, because as you were saying that, then again, like I'm saying, I'm thinking about my similar situation too. Whereas it wasn't like a romantic relationship type of situation, but then it's like you think about it, and it's like as much as you want to play the blame game, right? Like you said. So because first of all, I want to acknowledge and respect the fact that you said, if I was like this, then maybe that's why I was portrayed that way, because of how I was acting, right?
Right.
And it's literally self-awareness 101 right there to a T, right? As I was saying, is that like I really respect the fact that you mentioned that, because it's like real self-awareness. Like, no, I'm thinking about my headspace back then. I would have been like, it was because of A, B, C, him, her, all of them. That's the reason why I went through so much. But then now that we're like older, I'm looking back, I'm like, ooh, there's two parts in this, like two people, two player, or like more than one, the way how you react, the way how they counter interact with each other, like it really, everybody plays a part in it. And like you said, making the choice to get out of that state, and it's liberating, honestly.
And you will get tested every single day. And whenever I get those moments, I'm like, ooh, I worked too hard to get where I am today. And I'm like, I'm not gonna. Yikes. It's almost like when people say, the devil is not on your shoulder.
They're
I'm like,
trying you.
I will not give in to that. I will not change, because you've worked so hard to get to the other side.
So how do you try to stop yourself from like spiraling down that?
I think how I try to do it is really just in the moment. When I get tempted, you know what happens?
What?
I will tell you real time what happens. When I get tempted, I think back to all of the negative things that connects me to these people or these relationships or these scenarios. And I'm like, okay, but that happened in the past though. And I'm thinking, do I want to repeat that or even give a reason for that to be repeated in the future? I don't. So then I just play the bigger role, and I'm like, I'm not going to let that happen. And I think those are the tests as you become adults. That's very, it's like the word, what is it called? That's the word Oliver always says, whenever no one's looking. It's like
integrity.
Okay.
Yeah. Doing the right thing even when no one's looking.
Yes. And so that's what I think about. I'm like, okay, even if no one knows what's going on right now, me and this person knows, and what I choose to do next or how I choose to react next is going to determine not what anybody else thinks, but for me, right? For me, I'm thinking, will I be okay with how I act in this situation? Will I be okay with my reaction or with my attitude? And I don't want to.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been, girl. Ooh, I get tested a lot, and I'm like, you know what? I could be a petty ass and do like bad shit and be a negative Nancy, but I don't want to. Like, I just.
What good is that gonna make?
Nothing. It's gonna f me up in the head. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, anyways, you just gotta let it go. Yes, girl.
That's a great way to think of it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
because I do get tempted, but I'm like, why am I even thinking about that?
Because then it's just like you said, what good is that gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a great way to think and a great way to.
Yes, girl. Self growth takes a lot. I go through it every single day. I'm tested every day.
But it's like you said though, like you've worked way too hard to get here.
Yes.
Why do you want to literally have a setback and go all the way back and spiral down?
And I'm a big believer in that. Even though you have your own struggles, you don't need to tell anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell people, but you shouldn't let people know the internal struggles you're going through, because then it's like, what good is it? It's like, are you doing it actually to be a better person for yourself, or are you just doing it just to tell people that you changed?
Yes.
That's why I try, like differentiating that, I think, is a big thing too.
If it's not really like you're not really feeling like you're leveling up within yourself on your own, then are you really doing the work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's a great way to think about that.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like I talked a lot, but it's just like reading this, it really spoke to me. Like, it's not just romantic relationships. It could be working on yourself.
Absolutely.
Friendships, family. It could pertain to everything. Old parts of you, new parts of you, like it just aligns with different parts of life that I think this is a great, easy read so far. And I really feel like it has parallels to our podcast and what we talk about.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought too. I thought it was great. I'm excited to finish it, throughout the summer. I'll probably finish it within the first week of summer, just because it is such an easy read and it really speaks to us. And I have a feeling that a lot of people will and can relate to it, because it's a lot. Essentially, it's about like traumas and the healing of it and like toxic relationships, but then it's also the mirror thing. It's literally called the mirror, and they're like, it's within yourself as well. So like a lot of self-awareness and self-growth and healing, and it's like such a beautiful journey. It's so hard, but it's a beautiful journey, and I don't know, I think it's great. It's phenomenal.
And I love that it's so raw, and her take is so raw and real.
Yes.
Like, it's not polished, it's like,
yes,
it's really like just her talking to you one-on-one.
That's exactly what Stephanie said to me.
You know what I mean? It's like she's just chatting with you.
There are some parts in here she likes to mention a lot. In the first few chapters, the first few pages, she'll say, before you read any further,
yes,
I want you to know that you are not the one that was at fault.
You are not the problem.
You're not the problem. Yeah. And so it's literally like she's speaking to you.
Yeah. It's like you're just having a chat with a friend.
It's really good. I highly recommend this.
Love it so far.
Yeah, love it so far. It's it's great, and supporting local artists.
Yes.
So small local artists and authors. So look for it. It's called His Mask by Mirror: Breaking the Chains of Trauma Bond. And we'll touch base on it, next time whenever we do finish it.
Yes, we'll circle back around and give you guys an updated take on it. But
I have a feeling that, sorry to cut you off.
No.
I have a feeling that if you guys give this a read, especially if you've been through stuff, just in general, you will actually find out a lot about yourself by just reading a couple of chapters even,
And heavy on the affirmations. Like I think it's just like you're reading and then you read the affirmations like, oh wait, okay, yes. It's almost like you read and learning how to reprocess your experiences, and then at the end it's like affirmation, like you're okay.
I love
you're
that.
safe.
That's a
almost,
great way to.
And then doing it it's almost like baby steps, right?
Yes.
And then going and going. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. With the affirmations,
I love it.
At the end of it, you're like, okay, now let's circle back around.
Yes.
You're good. You are good. Keep
Yes.
going. Oh, yes.
I love it. I love it so far. It's great.
I know. It's really good. It's pretty good. I like it. I've been highlighting and jotting notes. I think I'm going to pass this on to Leslie when I'm done.
Oh, yeah. I think she would like it.
You should pass this on to Val whenever.
Girl, I don't know if she's going to read it.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna say, she takes a lot of trips, maybe on her long flights, but
she probably sleeps.
Okay. But I think this is something that Leslie would definitely appreciate.
Oh, for sure,
I'm
100%.
Pass it on to her whenever I'm done with it.
I think she would enjoy it.
So yeah, give it a read, guys. Check it out.
And if you guys have any other books that you guys would recommend that's similar to this, please. I feel like we're always about self-help. I don't know about you, but for me, I listen to self-help podcasts as well. Mm-hmm. Or ebooks. I've been into that on Spotify. Told me about that. Yes, and so if you guys have any recommendations, drop them below because I love to listen.
We do need to do the memoir one too.
We do. I really am interested. I still have that in my cart.
On your Amazon cart, yes.
Yes. But I am part of a new nonprofit here in the Tulsa area. It's been in the works for months, but it's called Tulsa Asian Collective, and you can find us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And we are a local nonprofit, and the goal is to be able to connect the Asian communities. As always, we upload a new episode every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can follow us at 116 Hotline on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to our channel and this video so we can get more videos out to you. And if you're following us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to rate the show. It really helps push us out to other people who maybe like similar content like this, and it just gives us more visibility. So we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys next week for a new episode.
Stay tuned for the next one. Bye.